Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Music Scene Investigation on the air once again after a week long hiatus. And I got to tell you, drove 10 and a half hours from North Carolina yesterday, or actually Friday. My days are still a little bit mixed up, and I'm still trying to recover from that drive. It was a long drive, and I'm glad I don't have to do it again soon. So glad to be back. Glad to have you back with us. We're going to do our thing we normally do, which is review some indie artists, indie music this week. If you want to become a part of this, if you're an indie artist anywhere in the world, it's easy to do. Go to musicsceneinvestigation.com, and at the top of the screen, you'll see a Submit a Song link. Go ahead and click on that. Sign up right there on the page itself and submit your MP3 to us. And every week we select three of those items, three of those songs that are submitted for review by our panelist. Our panelists consist of industry experts. We have recording engineers, producers. We have radio people, what are they called? Publicists come in and sit on our panel every week, and they provide reviews for your music. These are not, I felt good about the song kind of review, not the touchy-feely normal stuff you see in written reviews. Rather, these are reviews you can use. Sometimes they're technical, sometimes they're very technical, and other times not so much, but still all good information you can use. So that being said, let's meet our in-house panelists today. Join us every week as they do, and we appreciate it. Ian Husbands from England. Ian, glad to have you back with us. How are you today, sir?
I'm tired, Rich. Tired, but all is well besides that.
Well, I think it's something going around, maybe something in the water. I'm tired as well.
Well, you've had a 10.5 hour drive.
Rich, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're stuck on the MSI logo.
No, I don't think so.
I just reloaded 3 times.
Well, I'm looking at our broadcast right now, and we are broadcasting from what I can tell. And everything looks fine in that regard. In fact, it looks like we're broadcasting out. Anybody out in the chat room, can you confirm that for me? That
I can confirm that with Tom that is the case. We're only getting the MSI logo.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me stop the broadcast, and I'll restart it. Now, just to rest assured, anybody watching the podcast, this doesn't affect our recording. It only affects what is being seen live on Justin TV and on our website, on the MSI website. And,
I could go to the high-tech camera cover I used last...
Well, I'll tell you what, give it a couple of seconds and take a look, because I've just restarted the broadcast, and we should have something going out now with any luck. We had some problems with the Justin TV servers a little earlier today on our previous show. So it looks like we're out and going now, so that's good to see, good to hear. And again, want to welcome Ian to the show with us. Ian, you said you were tired. Are you still tired?
Yeah, 30 seconds have passed and I'm still tired.
I figured you would have got I figured you would have got a cat nap while we were doing that.
I tried, but it just wasn't long enough, I'm afraid. Okay. It's going to take a bit more than that.
All right, well, we try. Appreciate you being back with us after the hiatus. And Tom Chianti is also with us. He's a recording engineer from New York City. Tom, how goes things?
Things are going well. I've got some patch bay problems, but I got some really cool new patch bays that I'm going to install with my 6'4" intern Jomo, who, when he comes into the room, it's like
You need a
we have
bigger
to.
door.
I need everything bigger, but he manages to flex in and around in some of the tiniest spaces. We've run actually 5 sessions last week. A couple of long ones and a couple of short ones, all for working on Alana's new song. And hopefully within the next year, a little bit longer, we'll have something to offer the general public. If not, we'll go for the private public.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that, of course, and hope you're happy to be here as we are to have you here, Tom.
I am always happy to be here, Rich.
All right. Thank you very much. Our guest panelist today was with us on the 27th of March of last year. It's hard to believe it's almost a year since Ken's been on with us. Ken is known as that voice guy out on the internet, and if you heard his voice, you would know exactly why. Started out in radio. In fact, Ken and I worked together in at a radio station called WDZ and WDZQ, Decatur, Illinois, back in the 80s and early 90s. Late 80s, am I right, Ken, or did you come in 90?
It was actually the early 90s. I followed the Clinton presidency pretty much. Well, the first term of Clinton was with you. So, yeah, about 92 to 96, I believe is what it was, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're glad you're back with us. Glad we could pry you away from your busy schedule. And my goodness, man, you just keep adding things and adding things to this long list of work you already do. Now, you're currently doing a lot of voiceover work. You're doing, as we talked last time, you were doing the Pacific Life ads, and you've added quite a lot to that long list you were already doing. You've added a lot to it. Now, you're actually doing one of the things I think is the coolest, is the Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot. You're the voice behind this.
That's correct. And it's been amazing to me. I mean, I enjoy the job. It's an easy job. It's an easy $100. No, it pays better than that. But I never had any idea at what a pop culture phenomenon this was going to be. I mean, I'm a child of the 70s, and when Bigfoot was on The $6 Million Man, and when it's having its real renaissance on television, and it's kind of gone away, but it's making a big comeback. And I believe the last I checked, Finding Bigfoot is the top-rated show on Animal Planet, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I know that I have family who watch the Animal Planet quite extensively, and I've seen the Finding Bigfoot shows. Can you tell us, Ken? Have they found Bigfoot, or are they going to find this guy, or?
The season will come to an abrupt end on the episode Killing Bigfoot. I shouldn't have told you that.
They're going. Yeah, that's what they should do. They should call it like it is, because if they find Bigfoot, what are they going to do with it? Have tea and crumpets? They're gonna shoot the guy or trap him, right?
That's exactly right. I'm not holding my breath. I will say that since being a part of this program, I try to know as much about the subject matter as possible, other than the scripts they send me. So I've done a little bit of research of my own on Bigfoot. I'm no expert, but the famous film, the Patterson-Gimlin film that everybody's seen 1,000 times, of the one that looks really fake.
The one where the guys are out on horseback and
Yeah.
and the Bigfoot's walking through the edge of the woods.
Well,
Lumbering.
it's called the Patterson-Gimlin film. It's probably the oldest and most famous piece of film on Bigfoot. And it's the one that most people look at and say, wow, that's obviously fake. And I was one of them. But I've done a lot of research on this. And of all the video I've seen, that one's probably the one that I think might be real.
Wow.
So, yeah. And there's a lot of reasons, which I won't go into all here. It'd take an hour to talk about. But, yeah, it's very compelling. I was a skeptic. I'm still a bit of a skeptic. There may not be many or any left. But I think that video may actually have captured something that was not human.
Now the guys out in the chat room are commenting on your booth,
Hmm.
and this is where you do all the voice work.
Hmm.
Now, some of the other things that you've got listed here that I have a list in front of me of stuff you're doing. You're working with Nike, John
Hmm.
Deere, IBM,
Hmm.
and gee, how do you find the time to do all this? Because I know I've seen you work in the studio before, Ken. Now,
Right.
not to tell any tales, but there have been times when I've seen you do 5 hours of work for a 30-second spot.
Well, those were the days when I was actually a Pro Tools guy. Well, not in those days. That was pre Pro Tools for us, but I was an editor as well, and I wrote and I did all of it. And you're right. You know, when you're a perfectionist, you take a long time to build a spot. I think that would still be the case if I were building the spots. All I'm doing is voicing. So I sit in this booth and talk to through technology. I talk to directors in New York, L.A., and Singapore, just wherever they happen to be, and they direct me. I voice it. I'm done, and they do all the rest.
Now, what kind of advice would you give somebody who wanted to get into the voiceover business today, Ken?
Don't,
But I was
don't.
going to say, besides don't, because it's competition for you.
Right, that's exactly right. If you have a voice, if you sound anything like me, do not do it, please. Seriously, it's a good question. I get it a lot. I really get it a lot. There are more voice talents in America than there have been sightings of Bigfoot. That is a true fact. Something like 10,000 voice actors. So it's a tough business to get into. But if you have a good voice, you got to be prepared. Like getting into radio or probably, I'm sure, music or any kind of arts, you have to be prepared unless you have superhuman, once in a lifetime talent like Andrew Luck. I don't know if you guys will catch the sports reference there, but it's going to take a while. You got to be patient. It's taken me to get to this level. If I count the start of my uh, voiceover only career, it's taken me about 15 years to get to where I am now.
And if an indie artist were to come up to you and say, "Hey, Ken, you do all this great voiceover work. How can I get my music into this stuff?" Any advice for those guys?
Well, when you say get their music into just get their music played,
Can,
or you say into the stuff.
well, let me put it this way: if I say I had a piece of music that I wanted
Mhm.
to see used in a
Oh, I
Nike
see.
commercial,
Hmm.
can I say, "Hey, Ken, I think this would be great for that spot here. Why don't you take a listen to it?" Do you say, I can't do it. You got to send it to these guys. How does somebody get their music involved in something like?
Well, there are proper channels, and then there's the right way to do it. I mean, you can do the proper channels and try to find all the appropriate agents and managers and things. But start with people like me. If you happen to know me or you know someone who's in the business, start with them. Get them to like it. If they came to me and they say, I've got something that would be great on finding Bigfoot or whatever, and I'd say, well, let me listen to it. And if I agreed, then what I would do is because I'm emailing the producers of the show every day, well, every other day, I would forward it to them and say, hey guys, this would be great for the show. What do you think? And it can start that way. They'll listen to it and they'll decide if they agree. And if they do, then they'll make it happen. Sometimes it can be as simple as that. Sometimes it might be a little more difficult.
Now
Do
you
you get to have any musical input as to suggestions? Hey, I heard this groove or this track or whatever. Um, is that something that you could pass along also?
Well, I could try it. I haven't because I don't get requested that often. The hypothetical request you're talking about, I don't get that very often. But I could. Usually, what I get is people that want autographs from people from the show. Autographs from everyone except me, of course. But
Can I have an autograph from Bigfoot, please?
exactly, yeah,
That'd be
um,
cool.
yeah. Or of course, if you know the show, people want Bobo's autograph. He's the guy who looks like Bigfoot. But anyway, but no, I could do that. It's just never occurred to me to, and I've never really had anything, I guess, worthwhile to mention to. At the present time, the dynamic is that I'm just one of the talents. I'm the voice talent, and I mean they treat me with respect, and they say they love me. So I think if I were to suggest something, then they'd at least pretend to listen. But I think they would. But yeah,
You be the meat.
Yeah, there you go. Now,
exactly.
you worked with Coca-Cola on
Mhm.
the IMAX video for polar bears
Yeah,
that's out on arctichome.com. How'd
right.
that come about? And now I got to be honest, I haven't had a chance to go out and take a look at it yet,
All right.
but I
Right.
imagine something like that is very cool because I mean, there's a lot of issues. Polar bears and climate issues are in the news all over the place these days.
Yeah.
So working on something like this is has got to strike a chord at some point.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, I think I may have mentioned this last time we were on a year ago. For one reason or another, it seems like the gigs that I get all are related to animals. I mean, Animal Planet, Bigfoot is certainly an animal. Even the big thing I had last year, which I still have, Pacific Life, about the whales. And of
Hmm.
course, one of their big things is about the humpback whale. And now, and of course, I've done a lot of work for. I can't think of the people who actually go out and save animals. I'm embarrassed to say that.
Greenpeace, PETA.
The dogs and cats from puppy mills.
ASPCA.
Yes, thank you.
RSPCA.
I've done a lot of work for them, and of course now with Coca-Cola, but I don't do their commercial. I'm not selling Cokes. I'm actually helping them save the polar bears,
Right.
which is their big thing. But yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experience. It was the first time in the modern era since I've had the ability to do high quality work from this room right here, where I worked with an agency, which is the big agency out of Chicago, but I can't think of their name right now. But they actually required me to drive to Chicago for 3 days to
Leo
be in
Bur-
their studio.
Leo
Burnett.
Burnett.
Thank you. Leo Burnett. Required me to
Could
go
you make
there
a
for 3
suggestion?
days. I'm sorry?
Can you make a suggestion to Coca-Cola for me
Yeah.
on how to save the polar bears? Every Christmas, I go out and there's polar bears drinking bottles of Coca-Cola. I think that maybe should stop. That would be a good start. That's not natural.
Well, I don't know. Unlike us, they really need the fat. I mean, I'm just saying, they're trying to stockpile the fat for the winter. But no, it was a great experience. I was in a very cool studio. I mean, they're all cool, but in Chicago, it was right there off of State Street, which was the odd thing was, and I think I told you this, Rich, is when I left DZ and DZQ back in '96, the next 4 years I worked at ABC Disney WLS in Chicago for 4
Right.
years, which is at State and Lake. So this studio where they had me work on the Coca-Cola project was literally across the street from where I worked for 4 years. So it was like going back home. So for 3 days, I would go in for 8 hours a day and just voice while they would put up on the big screen the footage, the IMAX footage of the polar bears, and we would do these short little 30-second segments, which is now on the arctichome.com website. You kind of have to dig a little bit to get to actually my voice. It's a very, very cool website. It's the reason why many people over the past few months bought what they thought was Diet Coke, and it
Oh,
turned out to be regular Coke.
the infamous white cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was part of the promotion, and I've talked to many people who were angry, but not too bad. But they bought what they thought was Diet Coke, and on all those cans, they had the arctichome.com, URL on the cans that they still have them.
So they went to the Arctic Home website to file
Mhm.
complaints about thinking this was Diet Coke, and
Exactly.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
it's amazing how small the world really is when you get down to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really bad situation for the polar bears. There are actually now fewer polar bears in the world than there are Bigfoot, and that's a problem.
Well,
Because
yeah.
we're having a hard time finding the Bigfoot. I mean, the next episode is going to be finding polar bears, and that'll be truly sad.
Yes, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And no more white fur coats for anybody. I'm sorry. So let's make
Can we,
this.
can we edit that out?
Yeah, we can edit that. We'll edit in
I'm
post.
kidding.
It's amazing what a bit of bleach can do on a grizzly pelt. It's all right.
Yeah. No, we'll edit that in post there, Ken. Now, let's make the world a little bit smaller if we can by reviewing some indie music. Now, I think you guys are going to enjoy this today. Again, like I said in the pre-show, the volumes may be a little hot today on some of the music, so please be aware of that. But if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and start with song number one today.
Let
Let's
her
do it.
rip.
All right, here we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, here's song number one on today's MSI.
Find me, I'm one step closer to you. I love the way you say daddy, son. I love the way you look at me. Aiden, being with you really makes daddy happy. I can't believe that it's been so long, but like I knew all along, swooshing your mom was gone to do a bit. Don't know what she did, but finally you get to come live at daddy's crib. I mean house. Yeah, daddy, a little silly. Let's get your four-wheeler and pop willies. Do peel out some donuts. It's okay, son, have fun, go nuts. As I cherish each moment. No haters, no phonies. I'm not rich, so I'll go home, have mac and cheese, which mixed with bologna. That's your favorite. I know that cause you're my little homie. With every day, there's one less wall. I'm one step closer than I've ever seen. And all my life, I never thought I'd live this moment, that I'd live my dreams. When you cry, I know I hold you close. Comfort you saying, yeah, there's no such thing as ghosts. Vampires are make-believe, but it's okay cause you got me and I'm as real as can be. It's my destiny to include you next to me. Be the best I can be, do anything to make you smile. Always go the extra mile, cause that's your daddy's style. Don't get me wrong, I've had my share of pain. Things happen that even I can't explain, but I don't complain. I bust through like a train or a plane into a tower. Fight the power as I pray to God. He said, hold me and you close, yeah, we're okay. He said he would help us guide our way. So today is the day I sit down with you and pray and say amen. With every day, there's one less wall. I'm one step closer than I've ever seen. And all my life, I never thought I'd live this moment, that I'd live my
That's song number one on MSI today, and let's go straight to Ian first and find out what he thought. Ian, what do you think of that?
I want to hear some more. It's a bit short. First thing, I'm not a one for advocating long songs, but that was about 2:30, and I think that was a bit too short for my liking. Otherwise, I mean, it's quite a nice track. The production and the mixing was particularly well done. Very bright sound, everything sitting in place, everything cutting through very nicely. And the only thing that really let this down for me was the rapping. I like the addition of the singing on the chorus. Would have liked to have heard some harmonies and maybe a female vocal coming in there somewhere as well. But and now I'm no expert on rap or hip hop or anything like that, and I know Tom is from a point of view of engineering, so hopefully he'll agree with me. But I found the vocals were very loose. They weren't on the beat. They didn't have enough attitude. They were just sort of laying there, sitting there, sort of not tight enough. They need to be really tightened up, redone, reperformed, better attitude, and more on that beat every time. And the same with the backing that was going along with them, that needs to tighten up with the lead vocal as well. I mean, the group was good. It had some nice movement, but we sort of had a sort of verse, a chorus, and then the song ended. You know, it needs to sort of go into maybe some sort of middle eight there, and then maybe another chorus out, at least just to sort of bring it out to about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. So overall, yeah, I liked it, but needs some work.
All right, thank you very much, Ian. Tom, what do you think?
Well, it's a certain style of rapping where it's intentionally a little not dullish. It's a little more laid back and not as intense, and it's like Eminem's some of his first stuff. Um, not appropriate for this song. It could have been a little bit more energy in the lead. Um, Overall, I did like it. It's not your run-of-the-mill rap track where, every 5 minutes it's bling blang this and beep bop boop and that, as they're cutting out words and stuff. So it's very creative in that respect. Um, I like the strings and everything. The vocals need to come up and to be clarified. A lot of times, it's more than just bringing up the vocal level. It's EQ and compression so that you can, bring that, vocal up and put an extra compressor on it after you've EQ'd or whatever. There are no rules, no straight and fast, easy rules when it comes to doing a mix. Do I think it's radio ready? I think I could hear this on an independent radio station, definitely. But it's excellent demo, and I agree with Ian. I would like to hear more of it, at least another 30 seconds, minimum.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Tom.
Can I just clarify?
Yes, sir.
When we say radio ready, we're putting the track on MSI radio.
Right. Which is
Just-
an indie station.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
And
so
when I
people know
say-
this.
And when I say indie station, I don't mean like a major, Z100 and,
Right.
to combat with Rihanna and stuff.
Yeah,
because
no.
this is nowhere near that.
No, you said indie station, so we appreciate. We got you. We got you.
Yeah.
It's all
I
cool.
was just clarifying that we're actually voting so people get put on our radio station or not
Right.
throughout
Understood.
the show.
Ken,
You see.
what did you think about song number 1?
I'm going to make my critique short here. I liked it.
Good.
I just wanted to keep it short. Just to a little bit. I'll keep this under 30 seconds so that we can move because I can see the clocks against us here. This is the kind of music I hear around my house a lot, or at least used to, with two boys that are now both in college, a 23 and a 22-year-old. This is the kind of music that I'm used to hearing, with the more of, I guess, the urban and the hip hop, rap, whatever you call it. I'm the non-music guy here, so I just go by what I hear and what I think I know. But yeah, I mean, it felt okay. I mean, it didn't blow me away. But from a technical aspect, again, I'm last in line amongst the group here to really know what I'm talking about. But technically, it sounded fine. And yeah, other than that, it was not bad, not great. How's that?
That's pretty much what we all said.
Yeah.
So you were
Oh, okay.
spot on.
Yep.
Good.
Spot on with it all. All right.
So I get an A grade for my critique. Thank you.
You definitely do. You definitely do. Now,
Only a D in technical setup, so.
And now what we're going to do is Ian and I are going to listen to song number 2, and you're going to get only song number 3.
no.
Wait a minute.
We're going to go ahead and we're all going to listen to song number 2 now. So,
Okay.
so let's go ahead on with it. Don't worry about your microphone, Ken. It's
Okay.
fine. Everybody is still able to hear you, so I think we'll be all right.
Okay, fine.
So that being said, let's go ahead and listen to song number 2.
Today I saw a blackbird flying through the pool, and they follow me as I sit on this train. I see houses by the field as they reel back from my eyes, and the white cloud above the plane come flying on my track, and flying on my track, painting your face in the sky. coming to. Somehow I felt like something is missing. Felt like I was daydreaming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With my arms around you, it's just a dream, and it's a real long way. Come flying on my train, and flying on my train, painting a face in the sky while wind sway my head. Face the sun, let it burn through my skin. I don't care if it's you. Don't care if it's you. I don't care if it's you that I'm coming to.
That's song number 2 on today's MSI. Now, we've got some reports out there in the audience from Jay that he's hearing what's on the playback page. The only way he could do that is he's on the playback page. You know, so Jay, cut it out. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, it's been one of those days, folks. Don't rile me up. I'm just saying. All right. We're glad to see Sam and Seth here with us this afternoon. We want to apologize for all the technical issues we've undergone today. But hey, again, I stressed this more than once, and I'll say it again, I'm sure, at some point. When you do a live show, you never know what is going to happen, and that is indeed exactly the case here today. We're going to start things off with the review for song number 2 with Tom. So, Tom, what do you think?
I like this. Musicianship was really good. Vocal, again, too low. Needed to have its own space. Could have been. She had a very nice voice, beautiful voice, and I think they should have brought out those characteristics more. The toms had a very nice sound to them, even if a tad a sconce over on the prefab side, but they sounded good and they stood out from the rest of the drums, though, and made the rest of the drums seem just a little bit smaller. They could either have been brought down in the mix, or the drums been made bigger, and then you would have had to, of course, make the vocal louder. But overall, nice piano playing. And as I said, I think this one might make it on indie stations. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. And let's head on over to Ken and find out what he thought. Ken? Now I can't hear you at all, Ken.
Is he speaking?
Yeah, he's pointing around over to something else, and he's going to look and see what happened here. It might check if your microphone is plugged directly in. You might check your audio preferences again, Ken. And while he's taking a look at that, we'll just go on over to Ian to find out what he thought. Ian?
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? But I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. As Tom said, there were some great performances. I found the mix, everything was on top of each other. That vocal was buried. The mix was far too bright. The piano was dominant. The toms were far too loud. Everything just seemed to be crowding each other and fighting for attention and just burying that vocal. Maybe it's overcompression. Maybe it's just everything's been mixed up there. But, I mean, I like the arrangement. I like the change of pace in the song. But it was lacking any sort of harmonies or backing vocals. And I could hear the sneaky use of auto-tune creeping in there, in and out there as well. And then it kind of didn't go anywhere. It kind of got on this level with the big piano and the big drums and this sort of cute little vocal. And it just didn't build any from there. And because everything was on top of each other anyway, it lost its dynamic. This needed some strings or a big heavy guitar just sitting low in the mix just to bring things out and add some more dynamic to it. Yeah. Didn't really grab my attention. It just seemed a mess.
All right. Well, I understand where you're coming from. Let's find out if Ken's back with us. I certainly hope.
Please,
All
please
right.
tell me you can hear me.
I can. I
Okay.
can, absolutely. Let's hear what you thought of. I think if there's a prize we can give out for technical issues, between you and me, we ought to, make it with no problem.
I shouldn't have hired my union technical crew. It's my own fault.
What do you think of number 2?
Well, actually, and again, I'm not the technical guy, so I'm just going to talk about the aesthetics. To me, this is kind of my kind of music. I actually liked it a lot. I like the vocals. Of course, one of the biggest tours that I currently voice is Celtic Woman. Not to compare the song at all to Celtic Woman, but I like female vocalists in general. I can't think of any of the others because I have a terrible memory, but I like a lot of them. So this one spoke to me. I liked it, and musically I thought it was great. I thought the song and the melody all was something that I could see putting it on my iPod. I really do. So I liked it, yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Sounds very cool. Now, I do want to let everybody know, because of our technical issues, I forgot to introduce song number 1, so I'm going to do that while I introduce song number 2. Song number 1 was called One Step Closer by Eccentric, and the song you just heard was called Painting Face in the Sky by Afternoon Coffee. We'd like to thank them both for sending their tracks in to the MSI Labs, and we really appreciate the fact that they did. Now, gentlemen, we have one track to go, so let's see what more trouble we can find out there as we listen to track number 3.
I could have gotten away with it if it weren't for those kids.
you have song number 3 on today's MSI, and I want to find out what the guys think about this one. Let's go to Ken first. Ken, what do you think of number 3?
Well, I liked it. You can hear me okay, correct?
I can, yes, sir.
Just want to be sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought the mix was good. I don't know if it was probably because of the feed. It seemed a little distorted. It's possible it was because the feed into my headphones might have been a little hot that you mentioned earlier. But the other guys can probably speak to that. That was the only issue that I had as far as the technical part of the sound. It sounded a little distorted at times, but I thought the mix was good. Whenever they used the I'm not sure what you guys call it, but in my side of the industry, we call it kind of the filter effect on the voiceover. That is always a great way to help the voice stand out within a music mix. It makes it easier for guys like me who are hard of hearing to actually understand what people are singing. So I actually appreciate that effect a lot of times. I know it can be overused, but I liked it. Overall, I thought it had a really nice sound. I don't have a lot bad to say about it, so I'll just leave it up to the other experts to pick it apart.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. Ian, your thoughts?
What's to pick apart, really? I mean, I agree with Ken that this is a well-written, well-produced, well-mixed track. I mean, there was a couple of issues. Like, I can be picky. I found the mix overly wet for reverb, especially on some of the guitar parts. I would like to hear that backed off. Things be a little drier. It's personal preference, maybe, but that's what I would like to hear. And when everything's going and everything's pumping through the song, the drums do get a little bit lost. I'd like to hear them come up in the sort of heavier parts of the track. But overall, a very compelling intro to the track. Really fantastic groove established by the bass. And I do love the sound they got in that bass guitar, that sort of metallic sound. It's just fantastic. Great harmonies, hooky, well-written lyrics, strong dynamic. Totally should be on the radio. I mean, this is commercial. This, in my mind, should be on the radio now. So, yeah, I loved it, personally.
All right. Appreciate that, Ian. Tom, your thoughts on track number 3?
Well, I definitely agree with Ian. That intro was very well done and very well laid out. But the filtered vocal effect detracted from the vocal for me. I think it made it less clear, moved the focus away from what he was actually saying, and brought it out instead of in, draw the listener in. It's very well constructed. Everybody played well. The mix, well, they're minor things. It definitely could go on in mainstream radio, but I'm going to say with a big butt.
You've got a big butt.
Yeah, I've got a big butt. It definitely would need some, and it's just tweaking, but extensive tweaking. And it would be a whole world of good. The problem is when you got something good, you set the bar at a certain level. You've got to either raise the bar as the song goes on, change the bar, or maintain the bar. This was a little erratic a bit. It just. But that doesn't mean I didn't like it. Like I said, it just needs some tweakings on some balance issues and stuff to make it wider, give it more depth. But outside of that, yeah, I liked it.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate that. The name of that track is called Until December. The group is called C Centuries with Until December. Thanks a lot for sending that into the MSI Labs. Gentlemen, you know what time it is. You know what you got to do now. You got to select an item for Song of the Week. So I'm going to leave it to you to fight it out amongst yourselves and let me know what you think.
No question for me, number 3.
Is it just the three of us, or can everybody hear our thoughts now?
Everybody can listen to what you're thinking, and you can tell them your rationale or whatever
Censor
you
your
want.
thoughts, though. Be
Well-
careful what you think.
You can say
I-
whatever you want.
I just don't need to stand up right now. That's what I was getting at.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to me, it comes down to the last two songs. I'm torn between 2 and 3. I don't know if I can give my vote to both, but that's what I would do.
You gotta
So
pick,
maybe we need a tiebreaker.
you
No,
gotta,
I have to
you,
pick one.
You got to pick one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I have to pick one, my personal favorite was the second song, the middle song. The third one is a very close second place for me, but no, the second song for me was the one that spoke to me best.
All right. So you pick number 2 then.
Yeah.
All right, Tom.
Ooh.
Tom, your thoughts?
My thoughts: skirts need to be shorter.
No. Let me reel you back in here.
Here we go. Sorry
Music,
about that.
Tom, music.
Let me clear the drool. It is a tough choice between 2 and 3. 2 is very poppy and I think very commercial. 3 is in a very competitive field and it needs, the minor the tweaks I mentioned. So
He's fallen asleep.
I'm trying to remember both parts of each song and
You're going to
I'm
say
gonna
that
have
number
to
3
go,
should take it.
I'm gonna go with number 2.
Going with number 2. So it looks like number 2 is our song of the week, Painting Face in the Sky by Afternoon Coffee.
Just because it's a woman singing.
No, because it had the word coffee in it.
That's as good a rationale as any today, so I appreciate that. Thanks, gentlemen, for your thoughts on the song of the week. Ken, we'd like to thank you as well for being with us. The audio and technical issues aside, it's been a real treat, as always.
Next time, I'm sure I'll come up with something different. And thank you for having me.
You know what I can see next time, well, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to jinx it. It's not, forget I even brought it up. But, hopefully you'll have Bigfoot in the studio with you next time.
Well, he's here in spirit all the time anyway. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate
Can you give us a quick line? Like,
Oh,
instead
sure,
of saying,
sure.
Instead of saying Bigfoot, say big pink head.
Well, the like my friend who does the opening for Law and Order and the criminal justice system, his signature is "These are their stories." Mine, of course, is the simple opening line of, and I did this for you earlier. On this episode, hold on. Sorry, I know we got running out of time. I love Entertainer Secret. On this episode of Finding Bigfoot, on this special episode of Finding Bigfoot, that's it.
a big,
that's without
big kid.
Yeah, that's without all the great processing that makes me sound like a professional.
You sound good anyway, Ken.
Yeah.
You got a great voice there.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
And
guys.
Thank you for being with
Cheers,
us.
Ken.
Thanks to everyone
here.
out in the audience
and
for being
Ken,
with us.
I want to apologize on behalf of the whole staff. We all take responsibility for the tech here, even though it's all Rich's fault.
Yeah,
I was going to say, speak for your bloody self, Tom.
yeah.
No, I apologize.
Stay off my
for-
side, dude.
I'm going to cut these guys off and let everybody else get out of here. We're going to play out with Afternoon Coffee's Painting Face in the Sky. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. And we'll see you again next week right here on MSI.
Should have been 3.
Today I saw a blackbird flying through the pool, and they follow me as I sit on this train. I see houses by the field as the wheel back from my eyes. a white cloud above the plane. Come flying on my train, and flying on my train. Painting your face in the sky while wind sway my head. Face the sun, let it burn through my skin. I don't care if it's you. Don't care if it's you that I'm coming to. Somehow I felt like something is missing. Felt like I was daydreaming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With my arms around you, it's just a dream, and it's a real long way. Come flying on my train, and flying on my train. Painting your face in the sky while wind sway my head. Face the sun, let it burn through my skin. I don't care if it's you. Don't care if it's you. I don't care if it's you that I'm coming to.